Hi guys, this is Jason here from the Nathaniel School of Music. I teach piano here, and in this lesson I want to share what I call chord coloring. So what essentially happens is you take a chord you already know, like a major or a minor chord, and you give it a completely new vibe, a completely new feel. However, the entire experience or the entire uh, or at least the entire technical job you're doing is focusing more on the major sound. So in this lesson, it's sort of what I call the dark major chord or the dark major voicing, wherein you take a traditional major chord. In this case, I'm taking F sharp major, and you add uh, some color to it, basically modifying a couple of the notes in the chord to create a very unique kind of vibe. And the sound generally comes with two components. At least that's the way I go about it. One is you need to define your overall scale. So in other words, the chord, in this case F sharp major, is part of a scale. Now it could be part of the F sharp major scale, which is, so you have to know that detail before you start playing your music. And your vocalist, or if you are singing, the melody line is not going to always follow the notes of the chord. It's going to follow the notes of the scale, um, and your chord is sort of supporting that melody line. So when you play the chord, and if you want to express yourself more or have fun with it a bit more, you need to definitely know something beyond just that chord. You need to assume a scale which that chord is a subset or a child of. In the music performance which you heard at the beginning of the lesson, I did not choose F sharp major scale. I did take an F sharp scale, but it was something like this. So it's a scale which has the root, the major third, and the perfect fifth, which is F sharp being the root, A sharp being the third, and C sharp being the perfect fifth. Now, apart from these three notes, I'm free to add any more or any other scale tones as I wish. So for example, in this scale I've added the G sharp, which is the second. I've added the B, which is the fourth or the perfect fourth. And now I've added the minor sixth, which is a D. So it creates this very mysterious kind of vibe, which I quite like. As opposed to, that's something we've sort of heard quite often. But when you add the minor sixth at the end, creates a very interesting vibe. And I'm also playing a minor seventh at the end of the chord. So a minor seventh from F sharp, obviously being E. Okay, running it up once more. So that's like a nice key to sort of linger on as a vocalist or as a melody player or as an improviser or soloist or whatever. But when the guy is playing harmony in the background, I think it can also be quite an exciting job. You don't have to just give this color. You could use other tones of the scale. And a good way I look at the whole system is divide all the notes of the scale into packets of 3 or in combinations of thirds. So you need to find those thirds which are diatonic to your scale, or rather find those thirds which are in the scale you are playing your chord passage on. So if I'm on this particular scale, which is like an F sharp major with a flat 6 and a flat 7, right? I'm sure it has an official name. We won't get into that now, but you could read up on it. You have, this is your first collection of thirds. So to find a third, it's quite easy, really. You just play the root, skip the second, and play the third. And then you could take the next family of thirds, which is G sharp over B or G sharp with B. But all of these thirds are stacked with the root, and the root is F sharp. It's not going to change because functionally, everyone in the band, or especially the bass player in the band, would ideally hold on to that root, would stay true to the root of the song. So you don't really want to change the root while you're playing. You're just going inside that chord and trying to make it more colorful. So you have this third, which is F sharp over A sharp, G sharp over B, and then you have the normal A sharp over C sharp, which is not really colorful because that's part of the same chord, F sharp major. So I have this one is used, this one is used. So I have this stack of thirds, I have that stack of thirds, and then I have that stack of thirds, which is C sharp and E. So I could go C sharp E, B to D, G sharp to B, and then resolve it with a normal major chord. So as you're running through the song, the length of these chords should probably be a lot longer than normal music, perhaps 4 bars, and then you can truly get a nice vibe out of this exercise. So that was 4 bars right there. And you don't actually have to stay on F sharp. You can move to another chord. Maybe you can go to D major after that. So after F sharp, D, back to F sharp. But if you observe what I did with D, I chose like a Lydian mixolydian scale, or a mixolydian with a sharp 4, namely this one. That's D major with a sharp 4 and a sharp 7. So when I move to the D major chord, I'm playing that interval, E over G sharp, as opposed to that would have been the normal D major stack. So and you could sort of combine as many as you wish, and you don't even have to start with a major chord. You can even start with a minor chord, and no one's really stopping you there. Those were the families of 3s over the G minor chord. So stuff like that. You could also make the music a lot more thematic. And as I mentioned, you can't, you may not want to try this if a chord, if a set of chords are changing too fast, number one, or if the chords are very diatonic. By that I mean if you're playing chords within the same major scale. Well, you could, but then some of the thirds may not sound that colorful because it's within the same scale, so to speak. So, that being said, you need to definitely try um, connecting chords which are not very normal, or which don't work very well with each other. And you can definitely bring out a lot more color and demand a lot more from, let's say, the melody line or the soloist or the improviser. So that was an important point. The other point to consider is how to form this, which is more like a revision of what we've done. Step one, form a chord. Step two, associate or decipher a scale which works over that chord, not compromising the 1, the 3, and the 5 of that chord. And step 3, you just find stacks of thirds which work very well and give you the vibe which you want, and make sure the stack of thirds is within that key, within the diatonic key. And after you are done with experimenting or exploring with one chord, I'm sure you can try to connect it, try to move it to another chord. The next chord could be random. It could also be diatonic for a more normal sound. And yeah, you get the idea, I hope. So the whole point about this exercise is for you to feel free and explore the world of harmony and just go crazy. There are absolutely no rules. The only rule is just choosing a chord, if you want to call that a rule. So it's quite a free flowing exercise, and when you flow freely on an instrument like the piano, after a point, a lot of sounds which even you couldn't come up with tend to start appearing, out of nowhere. And that's a lot of fun, and that's very inspiring, I'm sure. So do try this out, and let us know what you think in the comments, or if you have any questions, or if you want us to try and do something related to the same subject. So again, this is Jason here from Nathaniel. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for a lot more lessons by our teachers, a lot more performances by all of our students and faculty. Cheers.